Borobudur Temple and its founding history. A brief history of Borobudur Temple. The magnificent Borobudur Temple is inseparable from the greatness of Indonesia in the past. As Bung Karno said, so that we study the fire of our history, we should know how the magnificent Borobudur Temple stands today. The following is a brief history of the magnificent Borobudur Temple. According to historical records, the Borobudur Temple is estimated to have been built in the 9th century, at which time the Magelang region was currently controlled by the Syailendra Dynasty led by Raja Samaratungga. The king said to build a temple construction which was then led by an architect named Gunadharma. Without the help of today's technological sophistication, Gunadharma draws the Borobudur Temple, which covers hundreds of square meters. From this development, Borobudur can be completed within 50-70 years later. Which is said Gunadharma himself did not see the end result. The name Borobudur itself means Buddhist temple, which comes from Sanskrit and means Buddhist monastery on a hill. Indeed, at that time, Borobudur was located on a hill. That's the short history of Borobudur Temple before its construction. However, afterwards Borobudur also witnessed other Indonesian histories. Because at that time Buddhism became the majority of religion in the land of Java, the Borobudur Temple was not separated from religious activities. Borobudur Temple is the biggest center of religious power both in the country and from various kingdoms around the archipelago. But gradually the development of Islam began to enter the archipelago. The influx of Islam to Indonesia in the 15th century made Borobudur Temple abandoned by people who converted to Islam. There was a time when Borobudur was forgotten, and Borobudur was forgotten several times during the eruption of Mount Merapi, which caused it to be buried by volcanic ash. In the short history of the Borobudur Temple in the days of Dutch colonialism, namely precisely in 1814, Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles succeeded in revealing the existence of the Borobudur Temple. Raffles was informed that there was a large building buried in volcanic ash on Java. Counted. Borobudur was forgotten for 10 centuries until it was discovered by Raffles. The condition of Borobudur, which had been forgotten at that time, was not only buried by volcanic ash but also filled with shrubs so that it did not look like its shape and appearance, which was messy and partially hidden. Borobudur Temple has a height of 42 meters, but when found and up to now its height is only 34.5 meters. There are levels that are buried and left buried for reasons of strengthening the foundation of the temple, and the second is because the lowest level has a picture of the panel of husband and wife relations. Until finally found and carried out restoration and various efforts to reconstruct the temple, which began at the time of the British and Dutch colonization. Restoration since independence Indonesia was counted in the short history of Borobudur Temple, both from domestic businesses to various parts of the world. Although now Borobudur Temple is no longer included in the 7 Wonders of the World, but Borobudur remained in the World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1991 after a long restoration of the largest Buddhist temple in the world. Borobudur is also included in a list of world memories, proposed along with the Panji story, the non-aligned movement and the Aset tsunami. While the 4 documents that have been included in the UNESCO World Memory List from Indonesia are Ilo Galego from Sulawesi, Negara Kertagama, Babon Diponegoro, and the Asia-Africa Conference, shows how rich Indonesian history and culture is in the world.